In this video, let us see the top 10 unusual cooking concepts. Number 10, transglutaminase. Transglutaminase. Imagine a bowl of steaming prawn noodles made almost entirely with the prawns and including no flour. The prime ingredient in noodles is flour itself. This is the type of food you can produce using transglutaminase, meat glue. Transglutaminase break down the cells of meat and basically turns it into mush that can be piped or shaped. It is used in commercial food for binding meats together, but it really comes to life in the hands of modern chefs. Number 9, methyl cellulose. This is an incredibly exciting product being used in cooking. Methyl cellulose is a compound that turns to a firm gel when it is heated. For this reason, many bakeries mix it into their pie fillings to ensure that they don't spill out of their pastry shells when cooking. But the molecular gastronomers have found a more exciting use for it in their restaurants. Next thing is number 8, other senses. Some restaurants are now experimenting with food via the other senses that we normally don't relate to cuisine, such as darkness and audio. For example, when eating in a pitch black environment, diners are said to have a much greater appreciation of individual flavors in food as they are not distracted by the built in perceptions of food that come from appearance. Next thing is powders. Powders are a new addition to modern menus. They are flavors that are dried to dust and then sprinkled or served alongside food as a garnish. In some restaurants, they are served as an entire course on their own. The main method for preparing powders is to mix a liquid of some type with maltodextrin. This is then processed in a food processor until you get a powder of the consistency you prefer. Next thing is number 6, slow cooking. No doubt we are all familiar with the good old slow cooked stews our parents made. But modern cuisine has to take things further. First, a little science. When cooking meat at a high temperature, the flesh contracts and pushes the liquid out, the end result being a dry lump of hard meat. The solution to this is to cook the meat at the perfect temperature for eating low enough not to cause constriction of the flesh. Master Chef. So this is a slow cooking. Next, number 5, sous vide. In a way, this is a rather ancient method of cooking. Eggs could be said to be cooked sous vide when boiled. Sous vide meaning under vacuum is done. The benefit of this type of cooking is that meat can be cooked for hours without overcooking. For example, beef can be cooked to medium rare by boiling it in a vacuum sealed bag for 1.5 hours at 160 degrees. So next thing is number 4, air. In the finest of modern restaurants, gravy and sauce are becoming a thing of the past, being replaced with the airs and foams. Airs are produced by using a submersion blender with cooking juices or fruit juices combined with a stabilizer, usually lecithin. The blender causes the liquid to froth up, and the froth is then used on the plated meal. Foams are slightly more dense than airs, and they are generally made with a similar liquid but foamed up in a cream whipping device charged with nitrous oxide. Next thing is number 3, vapor. If you thought airs were unusual, you not seen nothing yet. In many hot cuisine restaurants, all of the senses come into play, and smell can play a significant role. The idea is to bathe the diners in scents that cause a deepening of the flavors of the food. This is achieved in a variety of ways. At the Fat Duck, waiters spray lime scent when serving lime and green tea mouse. Number 2, alginates. Alginates are a type of gum that cause calcium based liquids to gel. They are used to create caviar, fruit juices in the form of caviar, ravioli without pasta, and much more. The uses are virtually unlimited. The alginites uses. The next thing is number 1, last one, liquid nitrogen. Freezing has long been a staple in kitchens and cooking, but it is only recently that it is really coming to the fore. Particularly extreme temperature and fast freezing. Liquid nitrogen is especially useful in making ice cream, as the rapid freezing prevents ice crystals from forming, which prevents an inferior product. Liquid nitrogen frozen ice cream is the most smoothest, silkiest ice cream you will ever eat, and it takes only a few minutes to freeze. You can also use this technique to freeze pure fruit juices into sorbs. So these are the top 10 unusual cooking concepts.